Have you ever noticed that some women don't flirt openly? They don't make their interest obvious. Instead, they quietly test your awareness, especially when you're a man over 50. Women behave differently around mature men. They don't want to look needy. They don't want to appear too eager or too available. So, rather than flirting directly, they ask certain questions instead. And here's what most men fail to understand. When a woman feels drawn to an older man, she will almost always ask two very specific questions. They don't sound romantic. They don't sound revealing. But they are messages hidden in plain sight. Before I reveal them, do me a small favor. Tap the like button and comment if you've ever realized too late that you missed a woman's signal. Your engagement helps this message reach more men who truly need it. Many men over 50 believe they've become invisible to younger women, and even to women their own age. But the reality is the opposite. Mature men are often more attractive than ever when they understand female behavior. The problem isn't women. The problem is misunderstanding. It's going through life assuming she's just being friendly, when in truth she was opening a door. Women rarely show interest in obvious ways. They test your emotional calm, your presence, your ability to notice small, subtle cues. Feminine psychology works quietly and indirectly, and when a woman begins to see you as someone she could trust emotionally, physically, and intimately, her energy changes. Casual conversation turns into intentional curiosity. She starts asking questions designed to reveal three things: your strength as a man, whether you are steady or insecure, your emotional and practical availability, and your awareness, meaning whether you can recognize genuine interest. This is the moment when the two key questions appear. But to understand why they matter so much, you need to see the psychological truth behind them. Many men over 50 expect clear, direct signals because they grew up in a time when people communicated more openly. But women today, even mature women, express attraction differently. They don't say, "I'm attracted to you." They don't say, "I want to get closer." They don't say, "I'm thinking about you romantically." Instead, they explore. Women ask carefully chosen questions to see whether you're a man they can move toward without risking rejection. And here's the quiet feminine fear, especially with older men. If she shows interest too clearly, she worries he'll see her as needy. So, she hides attraction inside curiosity. She places it inside questions that seem harmless to a man who isn't paying attention. And if you miss them, she usually won't offer again. Women rarely present the same emotional invitation twice. Feminine psychology is layered. Women use questions the way men use actions. When a man feels drawn to someone, he offers help, direction, support, or protection. When a woman feels drawn to someone, she asks a question that hints at closeness. There are countless questions a woman might ask in everyday conversation, but only to appear consistently when she is gently exploring intimacy with a mature man. I'll share them shortly, but first, understand something important. She isn't asking because she's trying to pry into your life. She's asking because she wants to feel your emotional warmth. Is he calm? Is he steady? Is he open to my energy? Does he stand confidently in his masculinity or hide behind politeness? These questions are not about information. They are about connection. They create a subtle pull between you and her. Think of them as emotional bridges she places carefully, watching to see whether you step onto them with presence. And when you do, something shifts, not just in her mind, but in her body. Most men answered these questions, literally. A grounded, aware man. Here's what lies beneath the words. Because when she asks them, she isn't gathering data. She's checking alignment. She's checking awareness. She's checking whether you notice what isn't being said. When a woman is drawn to you, she doesn't need displays of money, strength, or impressive stories. She needs to feel that you are present, conscious, and calm. These two questions matter because they are not random curiosity. They are invitations. The first question she asks is meant to uncover one thing: your availability, not your schedule, but your heart. She wants to sense whether your life has emotional space for her. It isn't practical. It's psychological. It's her way of asking, are you open or closed? Can you connect? Or are you hiding inside routine? Can I come closer without being pushed away? Women don't like wasting emotional energy, so they test openness before revealing deeper interest. This first question is her version of a man leaning in slightly to see whether the woman leans toward him or steps back. Most men miss this because they assume she's just making conversation. The second question goes deeper. It's about your direction, not your career or achievements, but your inner direction. She wants to know whether your life has purpose, momentum, and masculine steadiness. Women don't open themselves to men who drift. They open themselves to men who are anchored, men who know who they are and where they stand. This question tells her, is this man emotionally alive? Is he stable? Can I feel safe in his presence? Does he have boundaries or is he floating through life? It isn't about details. It's about your core. When she asks it, she's imagining what closeness with you would feel like. A woman may feel physical attraction, but she only moves closer when she desires a man's presence. These questions matter deeply for men over 50. By this stage of life, many women assume something about you. They believe you've already lived most of your emotional chapters, so they hesitate to step into your life unless they sense they become a side character. These two soft, simple, almost invisible questions are her way of checking whether there is space for her, whether the man she's drawn to is living with purpose or simply passing time. You might miss compliments. You might overlook body language. But if you miss these two questions, you miss the moment she opens the door. And once that door closes, most women do not open it again. When a woman wants intimacy with a mature man, not just conversation, but real emotional and physical closeness, she tests that connection with two specific questions. They repeat across cultures, ages, and backgrounds because they come directly from feminine psychology. Here they are. The first question. Do you spend a lot of time alone? It sounds innocent, but it isn't. It's her way of asking, is there room for me in his world? She may phrase it differently. Do you usually go out alone? Do you keep to yourself? You seem like someone who enjoys solitude. Is that true? Are you seeing anyone? Or just doing your own thing lately? This question is never about loneliness. It's about access. A woman asks it only after she has already pictured herself somewhere near your life. If she felt nothing, she wouldn't care how you spend your time. But when she's drawn to the calm and stability many mature men carry, she wants to know whether she can enter your world without forcing her presence. Most men answer too literally. A steady man hears the meaning beneath it. She is checking openness. She is testing availability. She is seeing whether closeness is possible. To answer in a way that builds attraction, remain calm, balanced, open but never needy. You might say, I value my space, but I'm always open to good company. Or, I enjoy my routines, but I'm open to someone who adds something meaningful. This communicates emotional openness without desperation. It subtly suggests she could be someone you'd welcome into your life. This is the tone women respond to most. Open but not empty. Receptive but not needy. Strong without being cold. When you respond this way, she feels warmth, possibility, and emotional safety. And that naturally leads to the second question, the one that reveals deeper interest. The second question, what are you looking for these days? This is never casual. It isn't small talk. It isn't curiosity. It's a woman exploring you as a romantic option. If she felt nothing, she wouldn't risk asking something this personal. It feels exposed. It feels intimate. Women save this question for men they see as potentially meaningful. She may phrase it differently. What do you want in your life right now? What direction are you moving in? What are you focusing on lately? What are you hoping to find at this stage? She's trying to feel your inner direction. For a woman to open emotionally or physically, especially with a mature man, she needs to sense something important. That you know who you are. That you know what you want. That you aren't drifting through life. This question helps her feel whether your life is moving towards something she could walk alongside. Men who answer too literally often break the moment without realizing it. When a man says, I'm just looking for peace, or I'm taking things day by day, or I'm not sure right now, she is drifting. And women don't invest emotionally in men who drift at any age. You don't need a long explanation. You don't need to reveal your entire life. You only need direction. You might say, I'm building a simpler, stronger chapter with the right people. Or, I'm looking for a connection that feels natural, not forced. Or, I'm focused on living with intention and meaningful experiences. These answers show movement, clarity, and emotional awareness. They create space where she can imagine herself fitting into your life. This is powerful for a woman. It tells her you're emotionally awake, because here's what many men, over 50, never fully realize. Women want a man who is alive inside. Not just physically present but emotionally present. These two questions are deeply connected to female desire. Women don't test men randomly. They test based on emotional readiness. When say asks, do you spend a lot of time alone? She's measuring openness. When say aix, what are you looking for these days? She's measuring direction. The logic is simple. A man who is open and moving with purpose creates emotional pull. Women don't need perfection. They need clarity. Clarity creates safety, and safety awakens desire. That's why these two questions appear again and again, even when a woman doesn't consciously know why she is asking them. Picture a real moment. You're talking maybe in a cafe, a bookstore, at a friend's place, or online. The conversation feels easy. There's warmth. A soft tension. She laughs a little more, touches her hair, looks at you differently. Then she asks, so, do you spend a lot of time alone? That's her first step. The door opens slightly. If you respond with presence, the connection deepens. If you respond with confusion or shut it down, the energy drops. Later, she asks, what are you looking for at this stage of your life? This is her deciding whether to go deeper. If you answer with clarity, she feels possibility. If you answer with uncertainty, she retreats. These moments aren't random. They are emotional checkpoints, and women almost never ask these two questions unless they feel something. Remember, tease a woman who wants intimacy will not announce it. She won't confess it. She won't push herself on you. She will ask two questions. Are you open? Do you spend a lot of time alone? Are you alive inside? What are you looking for these days? These questions aren't about plans. They're about energy. When you recognize them, the moment opens. When you miss them, it disappears. Women rarely offer the same emotional invitation twice. If you remember one thing, remember Taisei woman doesn't test your words. She tests your awareness. If you can recognize the questions she uses to signal desire, you'll never again wonder whether a woman is interested. Before you go comment, I see the signs below. Your engagement helps this message reach more men who need it. Women communicate attraction subtly, especially with mature men. They expect depth, presence, and clarity. A man over 50 is judged differently. And when you understand this, everything changes.